Bitcoin traders in Argentina are restricted from buying dollars. This is an attempt to stop capital flight. Welcome back to the Stakk YouTube channel. It's your boy Brazen.
Double O.
All right, let's get into it.
Still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never ran,
Double up.
man, I still
Chime in.
Check this out, man.
Hmm.
You know, capital flight is something that has always been on the mind of everyone who is starting to understand Bitcoin. For Bitcoin to rise, this means that a bunch of people are going to have to leave fiat, and this is converting your fiat into Bitcoin, right?
Sir.
This makes it difficult for the governments to operate in the way that they've been operating thus far.
The government and the banks. The banks
The
that controls
government
the
and the
governments.
banks, all right,
Yeah.
things like that. Instead of trying to innovate and level up their strategies or, I guess, the way they operate the economy, they just want to hold people back in the old system. Check this out. Um, Bitcoin traders in Argentina, right, restricted from buying dollars. It's an attempt by the central bank to stop the flight of capital and tame inflation. I don't know how that tames inflation, but I'm not an economist. Argentina is a country battered by sky high inflation. Yes, it is. And it's now
64%, baby.
64% inflation. And it's now restricting Bitcoin traders from buying US dollars at the official exchange rate in a bid to tame capital flight. Why would anyone want to keep their wealth in an environment that has
Why inflation?
64%?
Yep.
This is the whole point of Bitcoin, isn't it?
Yes,
Right.
sir.
So, in a Thursday announcement, the country's central bank said that those who have bought Bitcoin or any digital assets in the past 90 days with pesos will not be able to access the single free exchange market. So they're pretty much taking the free
Taking
markets
over the
away from you,
exchanges.
right?
Taking over the
So,
exchanges. Yep.
right, they can't call it free markets anymore and buy dollars at the official rate. The idea is to stop money leaving the country, which can easily be done with cryptocurrency and dollars. If a person or a company has pesos in their account and they use them to buy US dollar from a regulated exchange, they can then use those dollars to invest in cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin. Well, well, well. This is the interesting thing with Bitcoin, right? The more things like this happen, it proves exactly why Bitcoin is here.
Wow, we need more peer to peer. So, if I can jump in again and throw in a little bit of some history,
Yeah, go for it.
you go to work, but you get paid in fiat, right? So you're like, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, I've put in a lot of work, I get paid in fiat. But guess what? You have no control of that, of your wealth, of
Of the
that
wealth,
money
yeah.
that you've built with the fiat, because
Yeah, you
as you
put it
can
in the
see,
bank, and apparently it
yeah,
belongs to the bank. Yeah,
exactly. And then
yeah.
it's now this the old 64% tells you that the value that you put in it in January, it's 64% less now because of inflation that's gone up. Don't
That is
that
slavery.
infuriate or piss off a lot of people? That is why
That
we're
that
saying,
makes you 64% a slave, straight up, because you're creating all this value and giving it away for free. That's isn't that what slavery was about? Free value.
yep.
Yeah.
And that's
Carry
what the
on.
bankers want for everybody.
Yeah.
And they decide whenever they want to inflate or deflate the market and spend the money any way they want to spend it at any kind of risk. But you are not allowed to do that. We just recently did a video about all the risks the banks were taking.
Yeah.
And now you have a solution for that, which is Bitcoin. And I know folks are like, oh, but the price of Bitcoin is crashing right now. Yes, because of the macroeconomics and the fact that it does not have its own ecosystem. Just imagine everybody trading in Bitcoin and doing business in Bitcoin.
Let me point out something about that argument that the price of Bitcoin is crashing right now.
Yeah,
The value of your dollar is crashing right now.
as well. Your
They should
stuff is
complain about
crashing
that.
as well. Yeah,
People should complain about that as well. So
yeah,
it makes no sense whatsoever. Like, yes, there's volatility, we get it.
yep,
But volatility is not, there's a difference between volatility and risk, right?
hmm,
And I think having, when you're holding the dollar or you're holding some stock, okay, the stock might go up and down. Actually, I think the dollar is actually a higher risk than most stocks, right? Because
yep.
if you look at the chart of the dollar, it's it's moving,
What
all right,
less?
in
Yeah,
one direction, and that's
down.
down.
Yeah.
So I'd rather be in something that is up and down because you get different chances. But carry on.
Yeah, so that's basically the argument here. So now we have a situation where in Argentina,
Yeah.
is 64% inflation, which means that the value of your currency has deflated by 64% already this
Right.
year alone. And if you put the money in the stock market, we already saw what happened in the stock market.
Yeah.
Bitcoin's actually holding par compared to that. But the advantage that you have with Bitcoin is the fact that you eventually have your freedom once this ecosystem balances out, and
Yeah.
there's no direct impact from what's going on in the economy. And what we're trying to tell people is that Argentina is another example. It's coming to a country near you as well. We see what they're trying to do with the regulations here in the US. We saw what
Right.
Canada did recently. We saw what's going on in Sri Lanka. We'll see what's going on in some Asian countries where they're literally stopping you. The bankers controls the government. The government,
Yeah.
folks in government have been bought out by the bankers. And you, the citizens, do not know because they pitch this media outlet. They control the media outlets, by the way.
Yeah.
And they
They
pitch this
do.
thing to you that it's a buy there. But what you need to better understand is that this is your freedom ticket, really.
Yeah. So there is this. I don't know if you've probably seen it too. There is this situation going on in China right now, actually, where the people are unable to take their money out of the banks, right?
Yep.
And the government there is pretty much like, hey, your money in your bank account, which you work for, your checking account is now an investment
Yep.
in the in the in the
In
uh,
the country, it's
in the
theirs.
country, right? So you cannot take back your money.
Yep.
That is, first of all, that is straight up robbery. Absolutely, that is robbery. There's no two ways about it. And so, what do you expect people to do at that point in time? And what even gives you the audacity, right, to take people's value? This is why Bitcoin is here. So people can argue against it all they want, but I think most of the time when people are arguing against this thing is because they do not understand it. This is the point of custodying your own wealth. This is why Bitcoin is here. You can buy Bitcoin. You can store it in cold storage or run your own node, right? And the governments cannot access it. The banks cannot freeze your account. Your wealth is always going to be under your control. This is the hope. If nothing else, right? I hope someone can look at this and go, I don't want that to be me, because people think it will not happen to them until it happens to them,
Yep.
right? It's right there, man. That's what Bitcoin is here for. We're looking at the use case happening right now. What is Ethereum doing in this situation, right? It's not.
Gas
Oh, wait,
fees.
wait, wait, wait. Yeah, they're
Gas
collecting gas
fees.
fees and trying to switch to
Yeah.
proof of stake. Yeah, sorry, I forgot. They're
Yeah.
busy right now. They're
Yeah.
busy right now, man. Once it flips Bitcoin, then it's gonna come take over this situation. Freaking
Yeah, and then
garbage, man.
and then make a bigger severance of the system because now
Look.
you have to obey the master.
Oh man, listen, man. When I think of Ethereum, that's all I think about. Freaking
Yo,
scammers, man. Well, I have nothing else to say, sir. Final thoughts.
that's it, man. I'm
All
done
right.
thinking here.
Until next time, ladies and gentlemen. Bruising out.
The blow.